Hello, friends. Get ready for the sweetest, most heart-melting romance that proves sometimes the best escape leads straight to true love. Famous rock star Bobby is completely exhausted by nonstop fame, screaming fans, and shallow Hollywood life. After a wild night, he crashes his car in the middle of nowhere and wakes up in a peaceful remote village in Georgia. There, kind-hearted local girl Vicki and her father take him in. What begins as a short hideaway becomes magical, fishing by the river, deep conversations under the stars, and undeniable chemistry as Bobby falls completely in love with Vicky's genuine heart. But his ruthless manager won't let him go, using lies, sabotage, and even drugs to drag him back to the spotlight and destroy their romance. This beautiful 2019 hidden gem drama is packed with passion, healing, second chances, and breathtaking countryside vibes. Come on, friends, let's not waste any more time and start this unforgettable romantic journey right now. Taking place in California, there is a big concert taking place, and we will see the main protagonist named Bobby, who is a famous rock star, who just finished his concert. Bobby returns to the VIP room, gathering with his management. Bobby looks very tired with all his fame. He became groaning and felt sick with all this. Meanwhile, his manager is preparing for the next tour in 3 rounds, and he notices a very tired Bobby and demands a caretaker, Brad, to keep Bobby fit in preparation for the next tour. Brad tells Bobby that they are now on top of fame, though Bobby states that he is very tired and sick of all of this. But Brad asked a woman, Melanie, gathered the women for their little party. After the little party, Brad looked at his face in the mirror, and his nose became a nosebleed. In front of the mirror, Bobby stated that he had to get out of here. Then, we are shown with the second protagonist, a woman, Vicki, who along with her father, Gasper, visits her mother's grave. Then after that, they are about to leave and are surprised to see a car driving in front of them. Vicki and Gasper return by car, but see Bobby, who had an accident from drinking too much and being thrown out of his car. They immediately helped him and took Bobby to be treated at their home. The next day, Bobby wakes up and goes to Gasper's car repair shop. He finds Vicki there, who is fixing his car. Bobby asks Vicki where he is now. Then Vicki explains that he is now in Fannon, Georgia. Bobby was also surprised when he asked Vicki if she didn't know her. Vic answered if he doesn't know who Bobby is, Bobby refers to him as the California rock star. Bobby then contacted Brad, but didn't tell him where he was. A few days later, Bobby reveals in front of Gasper and Vic about his desire to live temporarily in Georgia. But Gasper asks Vic to convey about the rules that have been set if Bobby wants to stay there for a while. Then Vic told Bobby that first, Bobby had to give up his drinking habit, and second, Bobby couldn't have a crush on Vic. Bobby, who heard that, emphasized to Vic that if he wanted sweet corn, he could just choose easily. The illusion makes Vic become disturbed to hear it. That night, Vic can't sleep. He turns out to be in possession of Bobby Rock DVDs, which he has secretly collected, and initially lies that he doesn't know Bobby as a rock star. One time, 2 of Vic's friends, Patty and Bonnie, came to ask her to join the group they had made and were going to AJ's. Meanwhile, they saw Bobby and got to know him while inviting Bobby to join them. When Bobby heard the call to the bar, he turned it down because he didn't want to have problems. Later, Vic gave Bobby a guitar because he wanted to practice his hands, having been away from music for some time. Meanwhile, Bobby's management continues to be in doubt with Bobby's absence. Due to only 3 weeks left, the tour is about to begin and has already been scheduled anyway. They get scared when Bobby doesn't come back, and it's going to be a problem for their management. For a time, Vic and Bobby's bond developed naturally and spent their time fishing in the lake. After Bobby caught a fish, Vic had a sense of humor, and that builds mutual trust between the two of them. Vic began to tell his story that he once had a fiancé named Teddy, but had died. Many things happened at that time with various memories which are hard to forget Vic. Before leaving, Bobby mentions Vic about the clothes he wears, like a man. That night, while having dinner together, Vic finally changes his appearance using his mother's clothes, so he looks feminist. Bobby then wanted to thank Vic for all his kindness. He finally asked her out for dinner, but Vic considers it a date invitation. The two of them agreed and were supported by Gasper. And it seems they finally are in a relationship together. One day, Bobby was walking with a dog, which they named Dexter. But when Dexter disappeared in the middle of the forest, Bobby finally looks for him. Vic and Gasper noticed if the time will be afternoon, and Bobby hasn't come back. Vic finally decided to look for Bobby through the forest and found Bobby, who had fallen on the edge of a ravine. Immediately, Vic helped him, and because it was already night, they finally spent the night in the middle of the forest, waiting for the morning time to return home. After the morning, Vic brings Bobby back and finds Bobby's management, who is also coming and has found Bobby's address to pick him up. However, there was a small fight when Bobby was injured and had to be taken to the hospital. After several days in the hospital, Bobby still hasn't regained consciousness due to a head wound. Then Bobby's management finally got permission to bring Bobby to America to receive intensive care. When Vic wanted to join, Bobby's management forbade him not to join. Finally, with Gasper's consideration, encourages Vic to go find Bobby. Bobby has now started training with his friends, and it seems he has changed with his drinking habits and prefers soda. Bobby then called Vic. Dan already knew of his arrival. But when Brad finds out that Vic is coming, he plans to ruin Bobby and Vic's relationship. When Vic called Brad about her arrival at the airport tonight, Brad lied to Bobby if Vic canceled his visit. Then Brad orders Zeke to pick up Vic, while Tim prepares for their concert. After the concert that night, Brad put something in Bobby's drink, making him dizzy, and fell asleep on the couch. When Zeke drops Vic to meet him at the hotel, when Vic entered the VIP room where Bobby was, Vic was surprised to see Bobby sleeping and accompanied by Melanie. That look made Vic angry and finally made him leave. The next morning, Bobby awakens and realizes that he has not met Vic. He immediately went to look for Vic. Zeke suspects something, and he asks Brad about what's going on with Bobby. Bobby arrives at Vic's house, but Gasper stops him and tells Bobby to leave. Bobby tries to find Vic, but he gets a rejection from Vic when he approaches him. Bobby comes home disappointed. However, Zeke questions Tim about whose intervention ruined Bobby and Vic's relationship. Melanie realized her mistake that night and accused Brad of interfering in their affairs. Brad finally admits his mistake and reveals that he just wanted Tim to be together. Melanie tells Bobby about Brad's mistake, and Tim plans to reconcile Bobby and Vic's relationship. Zeke and Melanie arrive at Vic's house and explain everything that went wrong. Melanie tells that Bobby is innocent, and Bobby feels sick without Vic's presence. The film ends when Zeke and Melanie take Vic to meet Bobby at Melanie's house, who is waiting for him, and the two are finally reunited.